every grassland, in every dense forest, and in every deep ocean, there is a strict order that no species can escape. Predators move silently as they stalk, while prey remain tense, alert to the threat of being detected. From the rapid sprint of antelope herds to the precise dive of an eagle, to the patient ambush of a leopard, every action follows a single purpose: survival. This chain determines the fate of each individual and keeps the ecosystem in balance. Every victory or failure sends ripples through the system. Predators regulate the number of prey, prey eliminate the weakest, and plants regenerate through the constant movement of animals. There are no written laws here, only the instinct for survival shaping every decision. Each day is a cycle of life and death, where harsh conditions drive strength and adaptation, allowing this planet to sustain the rhythm of life across generations. African Savanna, survival battles along the Nile. The young lions leave their pride to begin the journey back to their ancestral lands, territories once held by their lineage for generations. Instinct drives them to return, but a harsher reality now lies ahead. These lands are no longer untouched wilderness. The path home now cuts through areas occupied by humans, where the conflict between wildlife and livestock is constant and unpredictable. The young lions have strength and the drive to claim territory. They possess speed, endurance, and an innate hunting instinct. However, their lack of experience is their greatest weakness. They do not yet know how to avoid humans or how to distinguish between wild prey and domesticated livestock. This lack of caution turns their journey into one far more dangerous than instinct alone can prepare them for. As they follow the river, only a few miles from human settlements, conflict begins. The donkeys here, long accustomed to domestic life, have not developed defenses against predators. The encounter escalates quickly, and the young lions gain the upper hand. But that victory exposes them to a fragile line between survival instinct and the risk of human retaliation. Conservationists face a difficult situation. They understand the importance of these lions to the ecological balance. As apex predators, they prevent herbivore populations from exceeding the carrying capacity of the land. Without them, the ecosystem risks collapse, leading to lasting consequences. At the same time, local communities have the right to protect their livestock and their livelihoods. The final decision rests with the people. Under the pressure of immediate losses, they could choose to eliminate the predators to protect their animals. However, instead of taking extreme action, the community listens to the appeal from conservationists. They come to understand that the donkeys, once returned to a natural environment, also become part of the ancient food chain. The result is an unexpected choice. They accept the presence of the lions and recognize the event as part of nature's balance. Instead of removing them, they choose coexistence, creating an opportunity for conservation efforts to continue protecting this critical predator species. This decision not only spares the lives of the two young lions, but also helps preserve the delicate balance of the regional ecosystem. The Nile River, stretching more than 4,000 miles, is one of the most vital lifelines of Africa. Its waters cross arid lands, bringing moisture and nutrients that sustain vast ecosystems. Without it, many regions would turn into barren deserts, and the survival of countless species would be severely threatened. The surface of the Nile may appear calm, but below lies a world of intense competition. This is the territory of Nile crocodiles, the apex predators of these waters. With powerful muscles and one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, they face almost no competition underwater. However, their hunting success depends on the element of surprise. Once prey detects their presence too early, the chance of a successful strike drops sharply. The river sustains more than crocodiles. Hippos use deep waters to rest and protect their sensitive skin from harsh sunlight. They become highly aggressive when their territory is disturbed, often leading to dangerous confrontations with other species. Above the surface, migratory birds take advantage of the riverbanks to rest, feed, and prepare for journeys that cover thousands of miles. The greatest strength of the Nile River is its ability to support exceptional biodiversity. Countless species rely on its waters for feeding, breeding, and migration. But this dependence creates vulnerability. Any change or reduction in water levels can disrupt the entire food chain, affecting both apex predators and the smallest prey. The Nile is not only a source of survival, but also the backbone of a complex ecosystem. Every species, strong or weak, plays a role in maintaining this fragile balance, ensuring the cycle of life continues across generations. The Nile crocodile, which can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh over 1,000 pounds, is the apex predator of Africa. Its presence in the Nile ecosystem reflects not only the evolutionary strength of an ancient reptile, but also its critical ecological role. It is both a predator and a key regulator of balance in one of the most biologically rich rivers on Earth. The crocodile's greatest strength lies in its hunting strategy built on patience and explosive power. It can stay submerged and motionless for hours or even days, waiting for prey to approach. When the moment comes, the burst of speed and strength is immediate and overwhelming. Its bite force can reach 5,000 pounds per square inch, stronger than most predators on land or in water. Once the prey is locked in its jaws, the signature death roll quickly tears or incapacitates it, minimizing the chance of escape. This makes the Nile crocodile a constant threat to animals that drink from the river, from antelope and zebras to buffalo. However, its weakness is clear when it moves on land. Although it can sprint short distances at notable speed, it is generally slower and easier to detect. Its true power is only realized in water, an environment where it dominates completely. This is why ambush is its primary hunting method, as chasing down prey on land rarely succeeds. In Lake Victoria and other major tributaries of the Nile, crocodiles gather in large numbers because of ideal conditions: abundant water, dense vegetation, and plentiful prey. Beyond their role as predators, they help maintain the balance of the ecosystem by consuming carcasses of dead animals, preventing the spread of disease in the water. This function, often overlooked, is crucial. If carcasses accumulate, pollution and outbreaks of disease could threaten every species in the food chain. Their ability to adapt to extreme environments is another strength. In regions such as Sudan, where water is scarce and conditions are harsh, Nile crocodiles continue to survive and maintain stable populations. This resilience reflects millions of years of evolutionary endurance. Their life cycle also demonstrates strategic survival behavior. Females select elevated sandbanks for nesting to avoid floods that could destroy the eggs. Each nest may hold between 25 and 80 eggs, and the mother stays nearby, ready to defend against any threat. When the eggs hatch, the mother carries the hatchlings to the water in her powerful but precise jaws, increasing their chances of survival in a predator-filled environment. The presence of the Nile crocodile in the river ecosystem acts as a natural filter. It removes decaying carcasses, controls herbivore populations, and indirectly protects riverbank vegetation from overgrazing. Its strengths include immense power, patience, and high adaptability. Its weaknesses are its reliance on ambush tactics and its reduced mobility on land. This balance of strengths and limitations defines a predator that is both feared and essential, maintaining the ecological structure across the vast regions the Nile flows through. Because of this role, The Nile crocodile stands as a symbol of natural power and a critical component of Africa's ecosystems. It demonstrates that even the most formidable predator exists not only to hunt, but also to sustain the steady rhythm of life for generations to come. The hippopotamus is one of the largest mammals in Africa and the dominant species in rivers during the day. Its body can reach up to 13 feet in length and weigh more than 4,000 pounds. It possesses exceptional physical strength and a unique semi-aquatic lifestyle. Giving it a critical role in the Nile River ecosystem. The most evident strength of the hippopotamus is its perfect adaptation to life both in water and on land. During most of the daytime, it submerges itself in shallow rivers or lakes to avoid extreme heat. This behavior helps regulate its body temperature and reduces water loss. Its thick skin secretes a natural compound that provides sun protection and antibacterial properties, lowering the risk of infection from small wounds. This adaptation allows the species to maintain stable health despite harsh environmental conditions. Hippopotamuses live in groups of 10 to 30 individuals, with one dominant male controlling the territory. This social structure provides protection for the water source and mutual defense against potential predators. However, conflict arises when water resources shrink or when population density becomes too high. Territorial disputes between males can become violent and often result in serious injuries. Although they are herbivores, hippopotamuses are considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. They possess massive jaws and a bite force powerful enough to inflict severe injuries on any intruder that gets too close. When threatened, they can reach short bursts of speed up to 19 miles per hour on land, making escape difficult. The combination of strength, size, and unpredictable behavior makes them formidable even for apex predators, such as lions and Nile crocodiles. The ecological role of the hippopotamus extends beyond territorial dominance in the water. Their nutrient-rich dung, released daily, provides an essential source of organic matter for microorganisms and plankton. These organisms form the foundation of the aquatic food chain, supporting fish and many other species, which in turn benefit water birds and fish-eating animals. Their movement between grazing areas and water bodies also distributes nutrients across the landscape, maintaining soil fertility and supporting aquatic vegetation. In Lake Tana, Ethiopia, where a population of about 400 individuals resides, shallow waters and abundant vegetation create an ideal habitat for breeding and growth. After a gestation period of about 8 months, calves are usually born underwater and can swim almost immediately. However, their survival depends heavily on maternal protection and the group structure, as crocodiles and lions often patrol the riverbanks. Overall, the hippopotamus demonstrates exceptional strength while revealing clear vulnerabilities. It requires abundant water sources and expansive grazing areas to sustain its population. It is prone to conflict when resources become scarce, and is highly dependent on river and wetland ecosystems. Yet, its presence supports nutrient cycling, protects biodiversity, and keeps Africa's rivers functioning as life support systems for countless species. The African buffalo is the most prominent grazer on the floodplains of the Nile River. Herds often number in the hundreds, moving constantly in search of food and water. Each adult stands about 5 feet tall at the shoulder and weighs between 100 and 200 pounds. Their strength makes them a key species in maintaining the balance of these wetland ecosystems. The greatest strength of the African buffalo is its tight herd structure. They move in organized formations, with the strongest individuals forming a protective barrier on the outside while calves remain in the center. This strategy reduces losses to predators such as lions or Nile crocodiles. Their large curved horns, fused at the base into a solid shield, serve as highly effective defensive weapons. When attacked, the herd can respond aggressively, inflicting serious injuries or even death on top predators. The daily rhythm of the buffalo herd is tightly linked to the ecological cycles of the floodplains. In the cooler hours of the morning, they graze continuously. Each adult consumes an average of 33 to 40 pounds of vegetation per day. This grazing prevents excessive plant growth, maintains open grasslands, and creates habitats for other herbivore species. During the heat of the day, the herd seeks shade or enters the shallows of nearby rivers to cool down and avoid biting insects. At these times, the danger from Nile crocodiles is constant. The reptiles wait in deeper water, targeting distracted adults or isolated calves. This ongoing interaction between predator and prey maintains the natural balance of the ecosystem. Buffalo herds regulate vegetation growth, while crocodiles control vulnerable individuals, preventing overpopulation. Reproduction is also closely tied to herd dynamics. After an 11-month gestation period, calves are born and able to stand within minutes. Adult members immediately form a protective circle around the newborn, increasing its chance of survival. The African buffalo is more than just a dominant grazer. Its movements carve pathways through the floodplains, shaping the flow of water and enabling other species to access vital resources. This ecological engineering underscores the buffalo's profound influence on the structure and health of the Nile River ecosystem. The African fish eagle is the most prominent bird of prey along the rivers and large lakes of the Nile basin. Its wingspan can reach up to 8 feet, and its contrasting white and dark brown plumage makes it easy to identify across open skies. However, it is the species' biological traits and specialized hunting behavior that define its position as the dominant aerial predator in this ecosystem. The greatest strength of the African fish eagle is its exceptional vision. From heights of more than 300 feet, it can detect the slightest movement beneath the water's surface. This ability allows it to select precise targets, often focusing on slower or weakened fish to minimize wasted energy during hunts. When the moment is right, it dives at high speed, locking its strong talons around the prey within seconds, before ascending swiftly to carry its catch beyond the reach of other predators. Its success is not based on sharp eyesight and speed alone. The eagle's body is perfectly adapted for hunting. Its curved, powerful talons can pierce the slippery scales of fish, while its broad wings allow for rapid takeoff even when carrying heavy prey. This hunting efficiency gives the African fish eagle one of the highest success rates among raptors in similar habitats, reducing energy expenditure with every strike. However, its near-total dependence on fish creates a clear vulnerability. Any decline in fish populations, whether from drought, pollution, or overfishing, directly threatens the survival of the species. In addition, it requires large trees near water sources for nesting and perching, making the loss of riverside forests another significant threat to its habitat. Overall, the African fish eagle possesses remarkable advantages: exceptional vision, efficient hunting techniques, stable breeding patterns, and a significant role in maintaining ecological balance. Its dependence on fish and riverside habitats, however, makes it vulnerable to natural changes and human impact. This combination of power, precision, and ecological sensitivity defines the unique role of the African fish eagle, a dominant predator of the Nile skies and a critical biological indicator of the health of its freshwater ecosystem. The Maribou stork is a giant bird native to Africa, commonly found along the branches of the Nile River and across extensive wetlands. It stands nearly 5 feet tall, with a wingspan that exceeds 10 feet, making it highly visible as it walks slowly across dry ground or soars through open skies. Its appearance is distinctive, with a bare head and neck covered in wrinkled pink skin. This adaptation serves a practical purpose by preventing feathers from becoming contaminated when feeding on carcasses. And reducing the risk of bacteria clinging to its plumage. This feature is essential for a species that regularly feeds on food sources carrying a high risk of pathogens. The Maribou stork's most important ecological role is cleaning the environment. It feeds on the remains of large animals scattered across the floodplains, from antelope and buffalo carcasses to dead fish along the riverbanks. Its specialized digestive system allows it to break down tough tissue such as tendons, bones, and skin, converting low-value remains into nutrients. By consuming carrion, the species reduces the risk of disease outbreaks and helps maintain the ecological balance of floodplains and wetlands. However, the Maribou stork is not exclusively a scavenger. It is an opportunistic feeder, capable of hunting live prey such as fish, frogs, and even small rodents when conditions allow. This flexibility in diet is especially advantageous during the rainy season, when carcasses are less common, or when rising waters create greater access to live prey. Such versatility allows the species to adapt to the unpredictable environmental changes of the African landscape. The Maribou stork's greatest strength is the combination of its large size, long-distance flight capability, and highly adaptable feeding behavior. With broad wings, it can cover vast areas in search of scattered food sources while conserving energy. It also has a long lifespan and a strong tolerance for the hot and dry conditions of the Nile floodplains. However, the species faces notable limitations. Its dependence on carrion and wetland habitats makes it vulnerable when these ecosystems shrink, or when food becomes scarce during prolonged droughts. The bare skin on its head and neck, while advantageous for hygiene, provides less protection against cold temperatures or extended periods of heavy rain. Additionally, its tendency to nest in large, dense colonies in swampy areas exposes it to human disturbances such as logging or habitat destruction. In the Sud wetlands, one of the largest swamp regions in Africa, Maribou storks often gather in large flocks during the dry season. They build nests high in tall trees, where flooding is less likely and visibility is wide and unobstructed. In these areas, their ecological role becomes even more significant. They consume animal remains, hunt small aquatic organisms, and help regulate populations of fish and frogs. Preventing overpopulation. Overall, the Maribou stork is a key link in the Nile River ecosystem. It combines the role of carrion cleaner with that of a secondary predator, while also providing a food source for larger predators such as crocodiles and raptors when young birds are vulnerable. Its size, long-range flight ability, and flexible diet allow it to survive in demanding environments. At the same time, its reliance on wetlands and natural food availability highlights its sensitivity to climate fluctuations and human impact. The Shoebill stork is one of the most distinctive and rare bird species of the Sud wetland ecosystem, where the Nile River flows through vast flooded plains. It stands at an average height of about 4 feet and can reach a wingspan of up to 8 feet. Its most striking feature is its large, broad bill shaped like a wooden shoe. This bill is not only a unique physical trait, but also an effective hunting tool, allowing the bird to catch and secure slippery fish in muddy waters dense with vegetation. Unlike many other predatory birds that move frequently, the Shoebill stork is known for its stand and wait hunting strategy. It can remain motionless for extended periods, waiting for prey to approach instead of wasting energy in pursuit. This strategy is highly effective in swamp environments, where visibility is limited and the water surface is covered by floating plants and reeds. When the opportunity arises, the bird's large, powerful bill clamps down on the prey with a swift and precise strike. The diet of the Shoebill stork consists primarily of fish, especially lungfish and tilapia that thrive in the wetlands. It also feeds on frogs, small turtles, water snakes, and occasionally chicks or small rodents. This ability to exploit a variety of food sources allows it to survive even when fish numbers decline due to environmental fluctuations. However, its dependence on larger fish during the dry season, when water levels drop, highlights a specific ecological limitation of the species. In terms of social behavior, the Shoebill usually lives alone or in pairs and rarely forms large flocks. This behavior reduces competition for food in environments where resources are not always abundant. However, it also results in low population densities, making the species more vulnerable to human activities such as hunting and habitat destruction. The Shoebill stork combines several evolutionary advantages, including physical traits suited to wetlands. Precise hunting skills, and an important role in regulating aquatic populations. However, its reliance on specialized habitats and its slow reproductive rate make it highly vulnerable to environmental changes. The survival of the Shoebill stork reflects the health of the Nile's wetland ecosystems and highlights the urgent need to protect these critical habitats from increasing natural and human-driven pressures. Amid the network of channels and dense vegetation of the Sud wetlands, where water and land merge, lives a reptile that holds a unique position in the food chain. This is the African rock python, the largest snake species on the continent, known for its muscular strength and its ambush-based hunting strategy. An adult can reach a length of 16 to 20 feet and weigh several dozen pounds. Its thick, powerful body is covered in dark brown patterned scales, allowing it to blend seamlessly with mud and dry grasses. The hunting strategy of the African rock python does not rely on speed but on surprise and raw strength. It often remains motionless along riverbanks or near animal trails, waiting until prey approaches close enough to strike and constrict. Its diet is diverse, including water birds, warthogs, monkeys, and medium-sized antelopes. The species does not use venom, but its muscular coils exert enough force to suffocate prey within minutes. After swallowing its prey whole, the python can go several weeks without hunting again due to its slow and efficient digestion. Its greatest strengths are its muscular power and exceptional camouflage. In the reed-covered, muddy wetlands, it is nearly invisible to approaching animals. Its strong swimming ability also allows it to move between hunting areas with minimal detection. Ecologically, the African rock python regulates populations of medium-sized mammals and water birds, preventing their numbers from rising beyond the carrying capacity of the habitat. By targeting weak or slow individuals, it indirectly strengthens the health and resilience of prey populations. However, human-driven changes such as logging, agricultural expansion, and illegal hunting are reducing its natural habitat. In some regions, the species is hunted for its skin or killed due to perceived threats to livestock. These pressures are causing localized population declines. although the species remains relatively widespread across the continent. In the Sud wetlands, the African rock python is a critical component of the food web. Its strength, camouflage, and precise constricting technique make it an apex predator in its habitat. Yet, its slow movements, reliance on natural cover, and growing human pressures leave it vulnerable. If the wetland ecosystem changes too rapidly. The waterbuck is one of the characteristic species of the wetland zones along the Nile River. It can stand over 3 feet tall and weigh several hundred pounds, with a sturdy build and a dense, reddish-brown coat. A distinct white ring on its rump makes it easy to identify and distinguish from other antelope species in the same habitat. The waterbuck's most notable ecological adaptation is its strong association with wet environments. Its coat contains natural oils that repel water, reducing moisture retention and minimizing the risk of parasites as it moves frequently through swamps and marshes. This adaptation allows the species to take full advantage of the lush green grasses along riverbanks, with less impact from wet and muddy conditions. The diet of the waterbuck consists mainly of fresh grass. Each adult consumes an average of 15 pounds of grass per day. This provides the energy necessary for survival while also helping regulate vegetation density. As they graze, they create natural pathways through tall grasslands, enabling smaller animals to move more easily through dense vegetation. In this way, the waterbuck indirectly supports the structural balance of the ecosystem. One of the waterbuck's key survival strategies is its ability to swim. When threatened by lions, leopards, or other predators, it often rushes into rivers or lakes. With strong legs and broad hooves, it swims quickly and skillfully, using water as a natural barrier. This ability provides a major advantage over many other grazing species that are less adapted to wet environments. However, entering the water is not always safe, as Nile crocodiles lurk beneath the surface. This constant risk means that every escape into the water carries the potential for danger, showing how narrow the margin for survival is across the Nile floodplains. a grazing behavior that helps maintain vegetation balance, and biological adaptations that allow it to thrive in wet and challenging environments. However, it faces constant pressure from predators both on land and in the water. Its strong reliance on wetland habitats also makes its population vulnerable to habitat loss. This balance of biological advantages and survival challenges makes the waterbuck a vital, yet vulnerable, component of the Nile River ecosystem. Along the length of the Nile River, life moves in a continuous and connected cycle. Beneath the surface, crocodiles maintain their position as apex predators, regulating fish populations and ambushing animals that approach the water's edge. Across the floodplains, hippopotamuses reshape the landscape, clearing pathways and opening access to fresh grasses for other species. Above, African fish eagles scan the waters with sharp vision, keeping the aquatic world in balance. Each species fulfills its own role, but together they form an intricate ecological network. Prey and predator, weak and strong, all interact to maintain the natural order. When one life ends, it creates space for another to begin, linking every element in a chain that cannot be broken. The Nile is not only a source of water sustaining the African continent, it is also a stage where evolution and adaptation unfold every day. From the fish in the depths to the birds above, from the wetlands to the grassy floodplains, every organism contributes to the steady rhythm of this cycle. This balance has shaped the ecosystem for thousands of years and will continue to endure, even long after human footsteps fade from its banks.